So, Xolani, thank you very much for joining me for this Coffee with the Editor. You announced your results a couple of weeks ago. Not bad, considering the market trends and the cost of, not necessarily the cost, but I think the cost of transport and also just the challenges that you have had in some of the regions. But what I did see, which was very exciting for me anyway, was that rail is certainly back on the agenda. And I think you need to just give me some context of what that means going forward, please.
Indeed, Phillippa, we are all pleased actually with the developments in South Africa's rail network. And maybe for context, as you may already know as well, is that South Africa is probably the longest rail network. It's over 20,000 kilometers. And with that, it's got the market. I mean, I'm sure you've heard the number being thrown out several times, of 250 million tons. So that creates a very attractive market for any train operating company that is looking to operate in this space. So Grindrod certainly is looking to operate. The developments that have happened recently are quite pleasing. You will recall that last year, in the middle of December, a network statement came up, long-awaited network statement. And in it, of course, the possible TOCs, train operating companies, would then respond if they're interested to participate in the corridors, rail corridors. And the revision actually in the rail network statement opened up even more slots for potential participants. There was a recent meeting with Investec where the TRIM outlined the applications, the number of applications, which was unexpected. But coming back, we put an application as Grindrod. We've got a vested interest in some specific corridors where we want to operate, and we put in our application in time. So going forward, we're hoping to be in a position to work with our customers in presenting them a cost-effective solution. Because we've worked it out that as much as trucking is convenient, it's also costly. And also there's sufficient markets in any event for rail to come in a big way and make a difference for our customers, especially in the cost-effectiveness of the solutions that we give them. In terms of how we're looking to implement it, we have existing locomotives fleet. I'm hoping we will see those in Pretoria when we post to see the team. And we're looking to acquire about 110 wagons. And that will allow us to put our foot on the door in responding to the initial application and the slots that we're looking for. The medium to long term growth in rail space will be where we are hoping to invest close to 1.2 billion rand, buying a new set of rolling stock, which will be made up of locomotives as well as the wagons for heavier minerals. Again, this excitement is created by the slots being opened up for the TOCs like ourselves. So it's really looking positive, more so for our customers.
So what are you, without giving away too many secrets, what are you planning on moving in terms of commodity?
As you know, I think the key corridors or commodities that are moving in key corridors in South Africa is iron ore, manganese, chrome, magnetite, coal. Those are the main cargo types that are moving. We're targeting coal, chrome, and magnetite in a few of the corridors in South Africa.
Those prices, have they remained, from a commodity perspective, have they remained pretty stable, or are you still seeing quite a bit of movement on them?
Yeah, unfortunately, the coal price seems to be under pressure at the moment, and certainly the rail solution will play a bigger role in helping our customers to still do exports through ferrous corridors. Chrome seems to be resilient at the moment, and magnetite is hovering above 100, which is good enough, but it's touch and go. We're hoping that with this global noise we're hearing, I was reading one article now that some Asian companies or countries are actually increasing the coal into. Yeah, the coal is particularly hardest hit at the moment, but chrome is resilient, and iron ore is just borderline fine.
Have you started the procurement process for the new locomotives and wagons, or are you waiting until you've got confirmation on the slots and can get those term sheets signed?
At this stage, we implementing our rail strategy for slots participation in an orderly manner, in sequence. Firstly, I would call it proof of concept in the sense that we would like to use the fleet we have to over 90%. And once we've done that and we've tested the results, and the results start making sense to us and they're positive, only then we'll be in a position to go and request for further funding to then buy further volume stock. But at our phase one of implementation, we will have to buy, or we are buying 110 wagons. At the moment, we're looking at two options. One through Transnet, there's available wagons. We're going to.
And then how is this going to impact your regional rail activities? I can only assume that it would strengthen it quite dramatically, being able to operate on the South African network and then possibly, further. I think what we're all looking for is that seamless movement throughout Southern Africa as being a good rail business case. But how are you viewing this as a coordinated approach for rail?
My belief is that I'm seeing sort of as like a core in a sense that it's got the port, but it's also got the links in it through its rail network to these other countries. And one hopes that the rail networks will start opening up even for this other countries. Not only internally where we're inviting where South Africa is inviting private players in the form of TOCs, but also allowing cargo flows into the country through the networks that connect, for instance, on the north-south corridor all the way to the DRC to capture that copper downstream or down the line, but also opening up other corridors through Swatini, through Chipalapala line. I guess that one maybe goes outside South Africa, but the ability for seeing this rail network actively being re-energized is where hoping that we'll see. And not only part of getting the South African rail network opening up, but also what developments that are currently happening in South Africa being replicated by other rail authorities in our neighborhood. Because the more rail network are opening up in the southern region, start promoting your inter-regional trade and all those good things that we talk about on paper. But the reality is that if you get our rail network coming right, then connecting to each other, then we realize the dream of promoting inter-regional trade. We're hoping that there's the second phase, third phase coming out of the other regions.
I'm hoping so too, especially as quite a few of them have already, intimated that they're going to be pursuing open access. Some have already started, so it'd be nice to see that seamless integration and movement, I think, as envisaged by African Union and everybody else. So it'd be good to see.
Absolutely. The only challenge, as you know, of course, is the investment backlog that's sitting in the underlying infrastructure. But again, if the market opens up and there is a value proposition, funding shouldn't be a problem. But we'll see. I have no doubt that the developments in South Africa is catalytic in terms of driving change elsewhere as well.
I'm in agreement. And then obviously you saw on Sunday the Minister of Transport announcing the official RFIs or requests for information on the PSPs and the concessions for both PRASA and Transnet. You've obviously seen that. What are your thoughts?
South Africa is moving at a pace I have never seen before. But it's good for the country because what we are effectively doing as a country is saying if we are struggling as a nation to provide the necessary capital to refurbish our infrastructure and invest in it, there can be a model that promotes exactly that, where the funding can come in, and the alternative operators can come into the space and drive the economy of the country. So the steps that have been taken, or the announcement that was made by the minister, or the update to the market, is welcome. Certainly, Grindrod welcomes it, and we'll do our best to become that platform that can be used by South Africa to accelerate whether it's rail reform or other logistics infrastructure reform. We are under no illusion that we'll be able to do everything, and one has to be careful in terms of where our focus areas are, which we have articulated. And those areas are in a space where we are good at what we do. We've indicated that on the dry bulk terminal operation, we're good at it. On rail, we're good at it. As you know, we operated in Sierra Leone, we're moving over 7 million tons. So it's an exciting part for us as well. And on container business, everything else, I'm sure there are other logistics players that who sees those opportunities for themselves.
All right. And then I'm going to see you in Zambia in a couple of weeks.
Very likely, unless something comes up.
Well, let's hope not. It'd be great to see you at Landlink Zambia. And I believe Grindrod is one of the sponsors, so that's pretty cool.
We are the sponsors, and if I'm not there, Johnny will definitely be there. But the plans are afoot that I will be there.
Oh, that's perfect. I will see you then. And one last question before you go, and this is more in relation to your view of, I think, the industry, and certainly if you can bring Zambia in, because that is quite a hot topic right now, I think. Aside from the event, Zambia's got a lot of investment going on, and it will have a positive impact for you guys as Grindrod.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we are seeing steady uptick in the interest from the mining companies into Zambia. We've seen some very good development coming through. Of course, from the private sector perspective, one of these things to come relatively quickly, but we are very pleased with the developments, and our presence in Zambia is very critical for us, given that we operate on the North-South corridor. So it's one of the countries that the North-South corridor runs through, including DRC and Zimbabwe and ultimately South Africa. These developments are very positive for us, and that's why we stay close to our colleagues over there in Zambia, as well as the other logistics players.
Well, I'll see you soon, and thank you very much for your time. I'm super excited, and I think given the context of Grindrod, in terms of being the type of player you are, and seeing the interest from industry in general in where South Africa is going in terms of open access, I think it's pretty exciting. I think we've turned the corner. So in other words, moving from talking about it to actually doing it. So I'm super excited. I'm excited for you and all of those will be participating in the rail.
Absolutely. These reforms are actually good for the country. If you think about it, every ton of mineral that exported, those cost proceeds come back into the country. And the continuation of the mining sector means more employment. And if you can then ensure that we use our logistics network to actually enable our customers to export their output, then it means it's a continuation of the mining activity in the country. Similar applies on the importation of containers. It creates jobs. We've got, as an example, for presence, 3 locations nationwide in our container depot, and we employ people that work in those depots. So the only way that you improve throughput is by driving efficient logistics solution. So there's a direct link between positive impact socially and economically by bringing the private sector to make a meaningful contribution.